In this video, we're going to uncover how to use sexual energy to access your true essence. So the first thing we have to ask ourselves is, what is our true essence? Why is it important to access it? And then how can we use sexual energy to access our true essence? What is our true essence? People use different names, words to describe our true essence. I'm sure you've heard before the words God, higher self, higher consciousness, knowledge of truth, pure knowledge, pure abundant love, infinite intelligence, abundant value, abundant worth, peacefulness, harmony, oneness, abundant energy, creative power, stillness, abundant potential, pure blissfulness, compassion, immortality, humility, creativity, perfect balance, perfect timing, flow, presence, confidence, calmness, positivity. So it doesn't really matter what words we use to describe our true essence. Many of us are aware and have been exposed to this, but we need to access this and experience our true essence on an ongoing basis for it to become real. Let's take an example. If we want to experience the beautiful sounds that come from being able to play a musical instrument, as an example, that's when it becomes real for us. What does this actually require? Let's take an example. If we want to learn to play the guitar, at what point do we start to experience the beauty and the joy? What does it require? We must follow a process. What is the process all about? The process is about, first of all, learning how to play the guitar, then putting in the hours, going through the difficult times to learn to master the chords. And at that point, we can start to play songs, we can become creative, and we can really start to enjoy the fruits of our effort. The same thing is with our true essence, becoming consciously aware of our true essence, experiencing it, its rewards. The same process is required. We need to put the time in and the effort. This is the secret. Experiencing these qualities of our true essence, pure love, timelessness, immortality, creative power, truth, etc. When we experience these qualities, then we have true knowledge of them, and they become our truth. So this is the key. We need to put the time in, we need to have a process, and we need to experience our true essence. That's the key. Why is it important to access our true essence? When we listen to music that touches us deep inside, the sounds are in harmony and vibrating at certain frequencies, and this triggers our essence, the perfect harmony and purity that we are. When we watch a sports person playing amazing shots, when we hear a person speak in a way that touches our seeds of hope deep inside, when we look at children and see their purity and innocence, it touches us deep inside. What is causing us to experience the paradigm-shifting, life-changing moments that causes our cells to dance with appreciation and joy? Is it not the true essence, the soul of these people speaking and revealing itself through what these people are doing that wakes us up to the divine spark inside us all? And so it is with each one of us. As we cause the divinity that is our true essence to come alive, so we can touch others in our unique way, where the perfection, harmony, blissfulness, truth speaks through us and inspires us. As our candle that is lit shines through, it causes the candle in others to come alive, reminding them of who they already are in their essence. So as we experience our true essence, we are actually inspiring and touching the souls of others. We can learn to take control of our lives and power and realize that our own freedom and liberation lies in our own hands. Our desire, commitment, determination to achieve our goals increases. We are able to experience in consciousness what we really want, and we vibrate at a certain frequency which goes out to the universe, and our vibrational frequency attracts and connects with similar vibrational frequencies which become one. And this oneness creates conditions that lead to us having magical coincidences where we meet the right people out of the blue, and we have synchronistic experiences that lead us to achieving our goals. These are some of the benefits that come when we are able to experience our true essence. We realize that our essence is abundant value, abundant worth. Therefore, we do not need other people's approval or validation of us to feel that we are a being of value, because we experience our abundant value itself. And this is an important point. This allows us to be able to give and to feel totally okay about achieving our goals. We realize that what we give out, we will get back. Therefore, by radiating pure love, we know we can attract this from a person that we would like to be in a relationship with, who feels the same way about us, because we're both vibrating on the same frequency. Or in our current relationship with our spouse or our partner or partners, we will deepen. This love will deepen because we are able to give unconditionally, and we're able to focus on our partner's needs. And this will result in this love coming back to us. So when we're in touch with our true essence, we're able automatically to give, come from a place of giving. We realize that whatever energy we're giving out is what we're going to get back. Therefore, we learn to choose to learn from circumstances that are not what we really want. We grow and become stronger as opposed to blaming circumstances for what we're getting in our lives. In this way, we are taking responsibility for our lives, and we keep our power, and it gets stronger. When we blame outside circumstances for our lives, we are giving our power away, leading to powerlessness and separation from our true essence, our true essence. Another benefit, we experience harmonious, synergistic connections and communication with others. We also realize that we can create whatever we want, because everything is created from energy, and our essence is abundant energy. We also become aware that everything is created in consciousness first, by thinking and focusing on what we want, and also experiencing the reality in consciousness of already achieving what we want. This activates the law of attraction, and this message goes out energetically into the universal energy field that we all connected to and are part of. The universal energy field responds to what we have requested, as we have spoken in the language of energy vibration. It's the language that it understands. So when we get in touch with our true essence, part of which is energy, we are able to radiate the energy into the universe of what we want, and we start to attract what we really want. Another benefit that we get, we feel compassion for all living beings, realizing that they too want to experience their true essence. We also realize we create synergy in our lives with others, because synergy means that 1 + 1 = 3. The whole is greater than the sum of each part on its own. When we're not in touch with our true essence, we do not experience all of these qualities, And what happens, we then seek to find these qualities externally from others. We seek happiness outside of ourselves. We seek joy outside of ourselves. And what starts to happen when we look for love, happiness, fulfillment in external things that are temporary, because they are not our true essence and we're not in control of them. So when they go, we feel hurt and always scared in case they leave us. So this is the pain we experience when we're not in touch with our essence. We look for all of these qualities outside of ourselves, and because we cannot control them, they can come and go at any time. And when our happiness is based on other people, as an example, when they leave us, we feel pain. But when we access our true essence, which is happiness itself, then we have no fear. We can be involved, we can give, and when it's time for relationships to end, they end and we can move on in a graceful way. We must remember our essence is pure love, blissfulness, abundance, and more. And this is permanent because it is our essence. We also have abundant creative power and can create whatever we want to see manifesting in the physical world. It's very, very important. When we become consciously aware that we are creating our universe by what we are investing our creative power into, and that our physical world is a reflection of this, then we will take responsibility and make decisions based on the consequences that will come from our choices. Another important point, when we go through challenging times, maybe lose our job or our business is not doing well, or our relationships are not going that well, then we will allow these situations to affect our attitude and we allow ourselves to get negative. In this way, we lose our power. But when we choose to seek circumstances as opportunities to learn from and to be creative and to grow from, then we grow through challenging times and our creative power strengthens. One of my favorite books, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, one of the paragraphs say, only by much searching and mining are gold and diamonds obtained. And man can find every truth connected with his being if he will dig deep into the mine of his soul. Another paragraph, man is buffeted by circumstances so long as he believes himself to be the creature of outside conditions. But when he realizes that he's a creative power and that he may command the hidden soil and seeds of his being out of which circumstances grow, he then becomes the rightful master of himself. So as we can see from what James Allen is saying, when we're in touch with our beautiful essence, right, which requires work, it requires effort, we realize that we have the seeds and we can take control of these seeds and create the circumstances that we want to see happening in our lives. When we believe that we are a creature of outside conditions, as I said, when we believe that our happiness is determined from outside, then what happens, circumstances just buffet us on a continual basis and we lose our power. But we must remember we are creatures of power. We can create what we want to see happening in our lives, and this is powerful. We can create the abundance, the wealth, the happiness, the joy, whatever we want. We've got the power to create the circumstances that we want to see manifesting in the physical world. So we realize the destiny of our lives is in our own hands, and our freedom to choose, and we make choices that support the consequences that we want to see happening. We also realize that everything in our life is happening for our higher good. This is also very important. This means we do not need to become more worthy as a person. when we understand that our very essence is abundant value and worth itself. All we need to do is access the abundant value and worth that already is our essence. This is very, very important. We also don't need to work on having a better self-image and becoming someone else. This is very important. We are already enough. We already are beautiful, of abundant value. We must just become consciously aware of this. Isn't this a beautiful insight to have? Many times we are spending so much time trying to become someone else, trying to become, trying to have a better self-worth, trying to feel better about ourselves. But the secret is when we get in touch with our true essence, we understand that our true essence is abundant value already. We are already the abundant value that we are seeking. So all we need to do is to do the work and get in touch with our beautiful essence. Now, we actually are already in tune with our energy and intuition. What do I mean by this? Many times you think of someone and you want to speak to them. They're in your consciousness, and out the blue, they phone you. Or the next day you're in the supermarket and you actually bump into them and you say, I was actually thinking about you. Hasn't this happened to you? I'm sure it has on many occasions. Many times we may have a question. And a day later we open up a book or we have coffee with someone and we meet someone at the coffee shop that has the answer to our question. You may attend a social gathering and somehow you feel comfortable about someone in the room, yet you have not even met them. You just feel comfortable about them. Also, at times we get a gut feel, an intuition that we must not go somewhere or that we must not do something. Now, what is all of this? This is our energy, our intuition, our sixth sense guiding us. So we are already in tune with our essence. We just need to work on bringing it out even more and becoming aware of more and more of the qualities that is our true essence. Rumi, the poet, the mystic, said, there is a voice that doesn't use words. Listen. Isn't that powerful? Now, another big benefit of experiencing our true essence is we access being in the zone, the flow state, being on a roll. Now, let's say you're a professional sports person playing in professional tournaments, or you are playing a musical instrument and you want to add value to other people's lives and you just need that slight edge. You may be a poet. You want to bring out a book that can change the world and influence people by your paintings maybe, or you may be a leader and you want to influence people by the words that you speak. Now, this is very, very important. We start to get into the flow state. We start to get into the zone. Athletes mention playing in the zone. Time seems to stand still. Time seems to have slowed down. We get into a state of timelessness, of balance, of perfect rhythm, feel, harmony, perfect control. We see this with professional golfers as an example. They may be on the green and they may have a 30-foot putt that seems impossible for the ball to go in. But somehow when we look at them, they seem very graceful, totally focused. And we see that ball rolling right into the hole. We experience this when we listen to particular types of music or sounds. Somehow the creator of this music is in touch with their higher self. And what happens? Their higher self communicates through the music or through the golf shot, through the tennis shot, or through the book that they create, the words that they create or they speak. They are totally in the now. They experience perfect balance, perfect rhythm, harmony, perfect control. These are the benefits that we get when we're in touch with our inner being, our true essence. And if you look at that in sport, you'll notice if you're watching a match, a soccer game or a rugby game, out of the blue, you watch one person, they have the ball, and somehow they are in perfect harmony. They're in the perfect flow state. They move through the whole defense line and they go through and they score goals. They score tries. What does that do to us watching? It lifts us up into a different zone. We experience something beyond our normal five senses. This is the power of accessing our true essence. We have that slight edge. We have that edge where we are in perfect harmony, where our vision is of perfection itself, total focus. We're able to maneuver in ways that we normally are not able to do. We have a heightened level of concentration. Creative ideas come to us from out of the ether. The questions that we asked all of a sudden just seem to flood our being. And as we capture these beautiful words, this wisdom that seems to come from another place, we are able to experience our true essence. Excuse me. Many times sports people say that they knew that the ball was going into the hole before the ball had even been struck. You feel you are tapping into something bigger than your normal state of conscious awareness. There's beautiful magic, excitement. Many musicians speak about this. They talk about being in the flow state when they are playing their instruments. So how do we become more consciously aware that these qualities are who we already are? Let's have a look. One of the keys is that part of our essence is energy. As I mentioned, our sixth sense, and we need to become consciously aware of our energy. This is very, very important in terms of helping us to tune in and become aware of our true essence. So let's explore a few processes that can help us to become more consciously aware of our energy and that can help us to learn to control it in a way where we can feel, channel, and direct our energy. Now, this is important. When I use the word control, I'm not talking about suppressing our energy. I'm talking about being consciously aware of our energy, where we've worked with it, we're in tune with it, where we're able to channel and direct it. This is very, very important in order to be able to access our true essence. So we want to learn to get in touch with our energy and to learn to work with it. Now, there are many processes that you can access from other people that can also help you do this. So I'm just sharing with you something that I have uncovered that took me many, many years to become consciously aware of, that I'm sharing with you. Now, this is important. How do you feel about your sexual energy? How do you feel about sexual pleasure? How do you feel about experiencing sexual pleasure and feeling your sexual pleasure and sharing it with someone that you're in a beautiful, intimate relationship with? Now, something that took me, I started working on myself at the age of 25. I started working on my personal development, and in one of the videos that I created, which is the gateway back to the path of enlightenment. At the end of this video, I've got a link where you can access more of my videos. But in that video, I talk about my life in detail, and that from the age of 25, working on myself, it was only about 18 years later that I started to uncover something so mystical and so beautiful. And this knowledge came to me very, very slowly. It took years and years for this knowledge to come to me. But I really believe that we need to get in touch with our sexual pleasure, our sexual energy, And we know that our sexual pleasure and our sexual energy is a very, very powerful force, and it can lead us to our true essence. Let me fix up this mistake that I made. Now, I also created another video on clearing emotional, painful conditioning. And we have to, when we start to examine and get in touch with our sexual energy, we may have beliefs around sexual energy that block us to even want to go anywhere near this area. So I want to encourage you to keep an open mind and stay open to what I'm sharing about sexual pleasure and sexual energy, because I honestly believe that sexual energy is the pathway back to enlightenment. And you'll see as I share more with you why I feel this is the truth. So taking control of our sexual pleasure and learning to transmute, to transform the sexual pleasure into energy, into neutral energy into our body, that's very, very important. And we need to learn to build this energy and to cause this energy to move upwards from the base of our spine through our 7 energy points that people call chakras, and cause this energy to build and move upwards into our brain area, where we energize our 6th chakra, which is called the third eye. Many people talk about the third eye. And then once we energize the third eye, our brain area, what starts to happen, the pineal gland gets activated, and it opens the doorway to our true essence. Now, this is the secret that I'm sharing with you that took me 18 years to uncover. And in my video that I created, which I called Pathway Back to Enlightenment, I talk about my journey of how I became aware that using my sexual energy was actually the doorway to my true essence. So I encourage you to have a look at that video. So let's explore a little bit more of what I mean. So as I said, the journey towards experiencing and activating our true essence is energy. I mentioned we've got to learn to become consciously aware of our energy, and we've got to learn to use our energy to access our 6th chakra, which is in the brain area, our pineal gland. So the one way to do it, we've got to learn to work with our sexual pleasure. We've got to learn to take our sexual pleasure, and we've got to gently transform it into energy in our body, which I'm going to explain to you how to do that. And we've got to learn to cause this energy to build, become stronger, and to move upwards through each of our energy points in the body, our chakras, and into the brain area. The moment that we cause the brain area to become energized, which activates the pineal gland, we will automatically start to experience our true essence, the pure love, the infinite intelligence, the immortal blissfulness, infinite wisdom, peacefulness, as I spoke about those qualities that many speak about, that are our true essence and more. So this is a very, very powerful secret that came to me after many years. And also this knowledge came to me in very, very tiny bits. It didn't come to me overnight. I worked on this for many, many years, and slowly and more of the knowledge came to me. So I also want to encourage you, when the key is to really just start taking some quiet time every day, just taking a few minutes. It even can just start with focusing on your breathing, breathing in, breathing out, and just focusing on your breath, your breathing. When you start to do this, you'll slowly start to become aware of the rhythm of your breathing. You can also breathe in and then breathe out, and then just wait till your body tells you that it wants to breathe in. Just start to work with your breathing. That's a good way how you can also start to access your energy. Because when you get in touch with your breathing and you learn to cause your breathing to flow in an energetic way, you'll actually start to feel your energy. So it starts with taking time and, like I said, doing the work. It's very, very important to start taking what I call just some quiet time, even a few minutes a day. So let's talk about a little bit more of how we can use our sexual pleasure in terms of accessing our true essence. What we need to understand is that each one of us are made up of masculine and feminine energy. This is actually quite amazing. When you learn to tune into your energy, it takes time, but you'll actually start to become aware of these two different types of energy. Now, what is the masculine energy and what is the feminine energy? Your masculine energy is more your grounded, firm, strong energy. That's your masculine energy. The feminine energy is also strong, very powerful, but the feminine energy is a more flowing, sensual, moving energy. So that's the difference. The masculine energy is a more grounded, penetrating energy, right? Whereas the feminine energy is more an open energy. It opens up, it flows and moves. That's the difference. And as I say, as you start to take quiet time and start tuning into your energy and working with your sexual energy, you'll start to, after a time, you'll start to become aware of the masculine and the feminine energy inside you. Every one of us are made up of masculine and feminine energy. And this is the secret. This is what I believe is the goal, part of our goal of being on the earth school. The goal is to learn to cause the masculine energy and the feminine energy to connect and to become one. It's very, very important. This will create oneness. It will create incredible blissfulness. And this oneness, this energy, is what you then cause to build inside your body. Now let's explore this a little bit more. How do we cause the masculine and the feminine energy to connect and to become one? When you start to take quiet time and you start to activate your sexual pleasure, right? I want you to think of it in the following way. If having an orgasm is a 10, then I want you to try and work with your sexual energy by starting off and activating the sexual pleasure just to move gently and to be 0.5, which is not even 1 compared to an orgasm of 10. So that's the key. You want to start to feel your sexual pleasure in whatever way you want to feel it, but you want to start focusing when you tune into your body. You want to start taking your awareness to the base of your body, the base of your spine, because that is where our sexual pleasure is. And what you want to do as you start to feel your sexual pleasure, you gently want to cause that sexual pleasure to transform and to transmute into normal energy. This is the secret. And the masculine energy does this. As you start feeling a bit of your sexual pleasure, you just gently almost take the pleasure off that charge, and you just cause that pleasure to transform into normal energy. And what you want to do gently, you want to move that energy downwards into the base of your spine. Now, when you tune into your body, into the base of your spine, what you may find you may find that there's a little bit of tightness at the base of your spine. Now, this is what I believe. I believe that what's happening is that the feminine energy could be trapped at the base of the spine. You see, the way the feminine energy comes alive, the divine feminine energy, is the masculine energy needs to honor, respect, and gently approach the feminine energy and activate the feminine energy with the divine grounded masculine energy. So what we want to learn to do, we want to use our masculine energy and gently approach the feminine energy at the base of the spine, and very, very gently we want to energize that area where there's a bit of tightness. Your breathing can also do this as well. As you gently start to breathe, you can also cause the energy to move to the base of your spine. What you'll find that you'll be able to do after some practice, is that when you gently feel the masculine energy, you can gently cause it to energize the base of your spine. That's the key. You allow your energy to energize that part of your body, and slowly you'll feel that part of your body relaxing, and the feminine energy, the divine feminine energy, will start to get activated. And what starts to happen, there's a beautiful, blissful dance that starts to take place. You'll start to cause the masculine and the feminine energy to connect very, very subtly and very gently. And as the masculine and feminine energy start to connect, you'll start to experience oneness. And this is really what the masculine and the feminine energy want. You see, the world at the moment, most human beings are living in a place of what we call separation. They're living in the ego. The ego is controlling us most of the time, and that causes separation. There's separation between the divine masculine, the masculine energy, and the divine feminine, the feminine energy. And our goal is to work with our sexual energy and to transform that sexual energy into normal energy, and to use the energy to awaken the feminine energy. Now, what I want to share with you, if you'll just take some time, I knew nothing about this. I didn't read books. I haven't read many books in my life. I haven't watched thousands of videos on YouTube to gain this energy. I just started spending quiet time, just getting in touch with myself. And as I said in the video that I discussed, Pathway Back to Enlightenment, I've explained my journey of how I came to this awareness. So if you just start spending quiet time without even knowing what I'm sharing with you, you will actually come to this knowledge because your inner being will guide you. So this is what we want to do. We want to learn to tune into our energy. We want to learn to feel our sexual pleasure, and we want to learn to be able to transform the sexual pleasure into normal energy. And we want to cause that energy gently. We want to move the energy downwards into the base of our body, activating that area. And as that area starts to open, we'll start to feel the feminine energy, and we start to cause the masculine and the feminine energy to connect, to become one. And I believe that this is deep down what all human beings want. We actually, the masculine energy and the feminine energy actually want to get together and to become one. Because the moment they become one, what they start to create the most beautiful blissfulness. When you learn to connect the masculine and feminine energy and they become one, you'll start to experience the most amazing blissfulness. And this blissfulness can only be created when the masculine and the feminine energies become one. What starts to happen in this blissfulness, this beautiful energy, you start to cause this beautiful energy to build inside the body, and you'll start with practice. As the energy builds, you will slowly learn to cause this energy to move from the base of your spine gently upwards through the energy chakras, the energy points, and up and into your brain area. Now, in the beginning, it may seem very, very difficult because that's how it was for me. I spent months and months on this, which is very, very, very difficult. So this is what I'm going to share with you that you can work on. What you want to work on, you want to work on your sexual pleasure, and you want to feel the sexual pleasure, and you want to see if you can work with this sexual pleasure and feel it at the levels of 1, 2, or 3. Because what starts to happen in our body when we start to feel sexual pleasure, when we want to masturbate, when you're working with your partner, you know what the sexual pleasure wants to do, the physical sexual pleasure, as you start to feel it, it wants to expand, it wants to grow, it wants to build very, very quickly, and especially on the masculine side, if you're a male, that the masculine sexual energy wants to build very, very quickly, which leads to orgasm and ejaculation. So one of our challenges on this journey that I want you to become aware of is you want to start working with your sexual pleasure. Feel your pleasure. Your sexual pleasure is beautiful, right? We were born with it. We create we create babies, we create new life out of our beautiful sexual pleasure that we merge with masculine and feminine, man and female, and that's how we create beautiful life. We bring life into the world through our beautiful sexual pleasure. So we want to feel our sexual pleasure, but you want to try and feel this pleasure on a level of about 2 or 3 and see if you can work with this pleasure and start to cause it to move through your body. That's the key. Because what starts to happen, like I said, when we haven't worked with our sexual pleasure, the sexual pleasure wants to build quickly and it wants to lead to orgasm. It wants to lead to ejaculation. So we want to learn to gently work with our energy. We want to learn to build the energy inside our body. And this is the challenge. You want to start working with your energy, your sexual pleasure, and you want to see if you can work with your sexual energy and feel this pleasure without having an orgasm and without ejaculation. This is the challenge. Now, obviously, if you're married and your intention is to have kids or you want to have children, then obviously the way that we have children at the moment is through ejaculation, through joining together, and the seed is in semen and in the ovum. That comes together and creates new life. So obviously, if you want to have children, then the path is orgasm and ejaculation. But if your intention at the moment is not to have kids, I challenge you to explore this area. Keep an open mind and see if you can work with your sexual pleasure on your own or with your spouse or your partner, or if you have several partners, that is your choice in life. Then see if you can work with this pleasure and cause the pleasure to build having without having an orgasm, without ejaculation. This is what I've found. If you can learn to build the energy and cause it to move upwards in your spine and into your brain area, that energy is going to activate your brain area. It's going to activate your pineal gland. And the moment that happens, the more you're able to cause the energy to build and energize your brain area, the more you're going to feel your true essence. This is the secret that I found after 18 years of working on myself. Now, you can do your own research. I haven't read hundreds of books and I haven't watched thousands of YouTube videos, but I can assure you, If you go and type in the word pineal gland and spirituality, pineal gland, and your higher self, you will find there are many, many books of people that have done the research. There are lots of videos that you can work on, that you can go and watch, that will confirm what I'm sharing with you about the pineal gland. When it gets activated in the brain area, it opens the doorway to our higher self. It's quite amazing. And it takes work, like I said, like playing a musical instrument. You want to be good at playing a musical instrument. You want to be good at anything, at communication. You know, if you want to become a doctor, a specialist, anything that you want to master. You want to be a good parent. You want to be a good salesperson, right? You want to be a good lover. It takes practice. It takes time. There's no shortcut to anywhere that we want to go that's worthwhile. So we have to be willing to put the time in and the effort. But this is where you're benefiting. When I started working on myself, on my own personal development, I had a low self-worth, and all I wanted to do was feel better as a human being. I was not aware of the pineal gland when I was 25. I was not aware that 18 years later, I would start to uncover that working with my sexual pleasure and learning to transform the sexual pleasure, learning to build it inside the body, causing the masculine and feminine energies to become one. I had no clue that this was the pathway back to my true essence. Now, where you're benefiting is that you don't have to spend 18 years working on yourself and eventually coming to the awareness that the way to access your true essence is with your sexual pleasure. I'm sharing that knowledge with you. So all you have to do is practice these methods that I'm giving you. You may even come across other methods that can help you to take control of your sexual pleasure, learn to channel it, learn to work with it, and learn to feel your beautiful sexual pleasure. And as you feel the pleasure, you learn to move that energy through the energy points in your body and upwards into your brain area. Now, if you're married or if you're in a relationship with someone, what you can also practice is that as you can practice with each other to help each other to move, to channel the sexual energy, and together what you can do, you can start to feel this beautiful, beautiful oneness as a couple. And together, you can feel each other's energy where you become one. The masculine and the feminine energies become one. And together, you can work on moving both of your energies up your bodies and into your brains, where you're connecting in oneness, and you will experience the most absolute blissfulness, where together you access your true essence, and you experience blissfulness where you both become one. This is absolute beautiful blissfulness, and this requires work. And what you will find, that if you work with your pleasure, you can actually have immense, beautiful blissfulness, exquisite, erotic, blissful pleasure, where you don't even have to have an orgasm or ejaculation. Now, this is what I found. When we when we have an orgasm or we ejaculate, what actually happens, that beautiful energy that we built up, the life force, what actually happens is we lose our power. What I found, and I explained in that video that I spoke about, is that many, many years ago, I found that when I used to ejaculate, when I used to have an orgasm and ejaculate, what I used to find, I experienced momentary pleasure, but I used to find that I used to lose all the power, and I wasn't even aware of why this was happening. So you'll find that when you work on your spiritual growth, you'll actually find that when you orgasm and ejaculate, you'll find that you actually lose your power. Now, what starts to happen, the energy that you've stored up and built inside your body, that you've moved up into your brain area, and you've activated the brain area in the pineal gland. When you have an orgasm and you ejaculate, what starts to happen, you dispel your energy and you lose power. So what starts to happen? Your consciousness comes down to the animalistic level, which is at the base of the spine. And what you have to start doing now again, you've now got to once again start building that sexual energy, feeling the pleasure, and slowly start transforming that sexual energy into normal energy. And you've got to start the journey again of building up the energy and moving it into the brain area, activating the pineal gland. As you start working on your own spiritual journey, you will start to realize and you'll start to see how important it is to guard your power, your beautiful energy, and your sexual pleasure, and to use that to activate the brain area, as I mentioned. So this is a very, very important part of accessing our true essence. You can start to do it through your breathing, as I mentioned. Just start to work on your breathing every day. Become consciously aware of your breathing for a few minutes. If you're a few minutes a day, sit in quiet time and just focus on your breathing. Just stay open. You'll start to become consciously aware. Your intuition will start to guide you, and you'll start to feel rhythm in your breathing. Scan your body, start to see where do you feel tightness in your body. And as you just work with your breathing, you'll start to access your energy. The second thing, as I mentioned, feel your sexual pleasure. If you feel that you have beliefs that are blocking you from feeling your sexual pleasure, you may feel shame, you may feel guilt, you may feel embarrassment, you may not feel comfortable with masturbating or experiencing sexual pleasure with your partner. But the key is to have healthy beliefs about sexual pleasure. Sexual pleasure is beautiful. It's a beautiful gift. We are born with it. We experience beautiful sexual pleasure, and we can learn to experience it with our partner, and we can learn the secret that we can use our sexual pleasure and transform it and move it up into the brain area and access our true essence. Now, this is the key. If you have negative beliefs about sexual pleasure and you're battling to feel your sexual pleasure, just understand that is normal. It's okay, because we are conditioned when we are young. We are conditioned that it's bad for women to show their beautiful, their wild sexual pleasure. We've been conditioned that it's bad. We've been conditioned that it's bad to masturbate. We've been conditioned it's bad to touch ourselves when we're young. So, and we don't feel comfortable when we're young. We maybe have blocks about sharing our desires, what we really love in intimacy. So, if what I'm saying is true, and I challenge you to test this out for yourself, I'm saying that working with our sexual pleasure is the key to transforming that energy and to build the energy and activating our brain area, which is the key. It's the pathway back to enlightenment. That's what I found. Now, if that's the case, then if we have negative beliefs about sexual pleasure and we don't even want to go near that area, then we are going to block ourselves from knowing our true essence and our divinity itself. So I encourage you, if you have negative beliefs around sexual pleasure, just be open to them and start to work on changing those negative beliefs so that you can come to a place where you feel so good and okay and realize the value and the sacredness of experiencing and activating and enjoying your sexual pleasure. Sexual pleasure is vital to deep intimacy. When we can learn to work with our sexual pleasure and learn to transform that pleasure into energy, we can start to connect with those that we have an intimate relationship with on a very, very, very deep level, where we will experience oneness and blissfulness on very, very deep, deep, deep levels. So that's some of the ways that we can use to access our true essence. Now, As I mentioned, do your research on the pineal gland, and on spirituality. Something that you can do as well to access your true essence. If you go onto YouTube, you can actually type in inspirational sounds at at the 432 hertz vibrational frequency, and also 528 hertz vibrational frequencies. If you go and listen to sounds that are vibrating at those frequencies, what you'll find, they will also help you to get in touch with your essence. Because what is sound? Sound is frequency that's vibrating at certain frequencies. So people have put these videos together where those sounds vibrating at those frequencies, and what they do, they activate those frequencies that are our true essence, because pure love, right, is vibrating at a certain frequency. Happiness vibrates at a certain frequency. As we're able to cause our frequencies to rise, what starts to happen, we start to experience more of our true essence. And when we start to activate our pineal gland and the brain area, what starts to happen, because our energy is vibrating at higher frequencies, we also start to tap in to the dimension of oneness, higher dimensions, where we experience higher wisdom, infinite intelligence. And this is very, very exciting. Like I mentioned, when we're in a group with people, why is it that we start to tune into other people's energy, and we start to feel very comfortable around people where we haven't even met them? What is it? What is it? Why do we have this gut feel sometimes not to do something? We just get this feel. This is our true essence guiding us. So when we do the work, we start to tune in to our beautiful higher self, whatever you want to call it. Now, why, as I mentioned, why is this so important? I believe that humanity at the moment, if you look at what's going on in the world, we're at a crossroads. This coronavirus has actually, it's caused us to take stock and to look at our lives in more in detail. And this is what I believe. When we do the work on ourselves, and it's not easy, it takes time. You've got to face your past. You've got to clear away your conditioning from the past. I've got videos on that, how to do that as well. It's very, very hard, not easy. But when we started to tap into our energy, and we start to become a creator, where we can manifest what we want, and we learn to able to channel our energy, and we cause our true essence to reveal itself more and more. What are we actually doing to the consciousness of the planet? We are all part of a universal energy field. So when we start to tap into our own true essence, when we're with people, we're able to radiate that beautiful energy, and other people start to experience their true essence. Their true essence comes alive, and they experience it. And as more and more of us do this, what starts to happen, the collective consciousness on the planet starts to wake up more and more, and we cause more truth, more beautiful, abundant value, that is all of our true essence, to come alive, and there's more healing on the planet. If you think about how important this is in companies, if you're running your own business, how important is it to be able to come up with creative ideas and in terms of solving problems that we face? Many of us at this stage with the coronavirus, we're going through challenging times. And when we are in touch with our essence, we are able to see challenges as opportunities and come up with creative ways where we can use our gifts to enrich the world and to generate income. So when in life itself, why is there so much competition and one person trying to control the other? The reason is that many of us are operating from our ego. You see, what the ego does, the ego survives on the energy, of separation. That's how the ego is created. When we ejaculate, when we masturbate, not when menstruate, when we have orgasms, we lose our power. What we're actually doing, we actually create the energy of the ego. Why? Because our level of consciousness falls right down to the lower parts of our body, right? And when we are in touch with our true essence and we are feeling our beautiful sexual pleasure and we learn to build that energy inside our bodies, what starts to happen, we actually cause the ego to dissolve, because the ego operates on separation. When the masculine and the divine, divine masculine, divine feminine energies come together in oneness, where there is oneness, the ego cannot operate. So as we take time and do the work, our beautiful gift of our true essence revealing itself is a beautiful gift that we give to the world. If you are parents and you have children, how important is it to help them to have healthy self-worth, to grow up where they feel okay about sexuality and they mature about it, where they already at a young age start to learn how to work with their sexual energy and how they can start to tune into their higher self. This is very, very important to teach children this. Why do children go off to drugs? Why do they get addicted to cigarettes, to alcohol? The reason is because they're not in touch with the beauty that's inside of ourselves. When we experience the beautiful joy, the harmony, the happiness that's already our essence, we don't need anything outside ourselves to make us feel good, because we're on a high just being alive, being in tune with our true essence. So when we do the work, we can help others that are suffering. We can help our children. We can help others so that they can tune in to their true worth, so that they don't get influenced by other people, by their peers around them that are doing things that cause emotional pain. So that is what I wanted to share with you today. I want to give you the link. Uh, I've covered a lot of what I've shared over here. I want to give you my link to the other videos. You can go through some of these notes. You can pause the video if you want. But I've covered everything that I wanted to share with you. Like I said, you want to master any skill, you want to master a musical instrument, it takes time, it takes commitment. And I want to encourage you, my dear friend, watching this YouTube, watching this video, I really encourage you, if you are on your journey to uncover the truth and you want to have more meaning and purpose in your life, you want to feel more control of your life, you want more intimacy in relationships, you want to attract your soulmate, you want to have better communication with your children, with people around you, you want to be a stronger leader, I encourage you to do this work on a daily basis. Even if you start with a few minutes, just start. Start and do the work, and you'll find you'll be so happy when you just get the slightest glimpse of your true essence. It will encourage you to do more and more of the work. And it takes time and it takes commitment. I've got to work on myself all the time. I work on myself every second of the day. Why? Because I don't want to feel powerlessness, right? I don't want to lose my power, but I also want to experience my true essence more and more, so that I can be an example to the world, that I can experience this beautiful joy, that we can all create the world that we want to see. We can manifest our goals and bring them into reality. If you're a sports person and you want to do better, you want to improve your performance, if you are a ballet dancer, if you are a leader leading your company, you want to create more oneness, you want to create more harmony in your company, you want to be able to come up with more creative ideas. That's what business is all about. Then I encourage you as a leader, I encourage you to do the work, and you'll see that your performances will start to be more miraculous. If you're a professional golfer, tennis player, sports person, whatever, you'll find if you're head of a team, you do this work, the inner work, you'll find that you'll start to play more miraculously. And where's the competition really? Isn't the competition really with ourselves? In other words, where are we in relationship to our true essence, to where we really can be and to continue? So let's have a look at, this is the link that I've shared with you. And I encourage you to go onto YouTube. I've got a lot of videos there. I'm adding more videos all the time. If you want to get notified every time I create a new video, just click on the bell that is below every video. Now, also, this is very, very important. If you go to my playlist, this is the link to the playlist. Just hold down Control and click on your mouse, and it'll take you to my playlist. Also, under every video, you'll see where the title is of the video. If you click on that title or my name, you'll actually be taken to the playlist where if you play one of the videos, the other videos are there. Now, if you found value from this video, which I really hope you did, and I really encourage you, I know this took time, but I encourage you to go through these videos on a regular basis. You don't have to watch all of them all the time. Take 5 minutes, watch some of the video for 5 minutes in the day, and just work on it, and I promise you that you will get these beautiful, beautiful benefits. Now, I've committed my life to help other people to access their true essence, and to help whatever you do in life, your beautiful gifts, to help you to cause more of your gifts to come alive through accessing your true essence. And your true essence really becomes the voice that speaks when you are giving a talk or when you're playing sport. Your true essence, that beautiful energy and perfection, is actually what is causing the ball to go into the hole, or wherever you're writing the book. If you're a writer or a poet, where do these beautiful creative ideas come from? They come from your true essence, and it's really the true essence that that brings out these beautiful creative ideas. That is our essence. That is writing the book. Now, I really want to encourage you and ask you, if you got value, please click the like button, and I ask you to share. Let's share the video. Let's get these videos going viral. Let it go viral. What would happen if millions and millions of people watch this video and just realize that their true essence is love and harmony? There's going to be less wars in the world. There's going to be less violence. There's going to be less uh, rage. There's going to be less gender violence. So, and there's going to be more blissfulness. There's going to be more abundance for everybody. So I really encourage you, friends. Thank you for taking the time watching this video. I encourage you to do the work. Please click on the like button and share the video. Share it with as many people as you can, and let's make this world a better place for all of us.